Stop feeling like you have to try to be too fancy when people come over. Make this and everyone's gonna go away saying, okay, I could go back for more because it's that good. It's so good. It's kind of gonna be everyone's favorite. Chicken pot pie casserole. It sounds redundant, right? Because chicken pot pie is a casserole. This is chicken pot pie, but it's a little bit easier, and we're gonna use noodles as that hardiness instead of any type of biscuit or any type of pie crust. This is everything you want in chicken pot pie, but in a casserole form that's really simple and quick to put together and has all the layers of flavor. All the ingredients we need, they're right in front of me. They are gonna have pasta. That to me is that hardiness, and it's gonna be that delicious sauce around them, encased with chicken and of course vegetables of carrot and onion and peas, and we're gonna make it creamy. That is the key here. So we have some heavy cream, we have some cream cheese, we have just traditional cheddar cheese, but we also have some stock. So you're gonna get all those components to make a really good sauce that is thickened with some flour. It's gonna have salt and pepper and all the components right here in front of me, but let's get started because it really isn't that hard, and that's what I love about it. Really, to start with this, we're just gonna make sure the pasta's cooked al dente because it's gonna finish cooking in the oven when we have everything together. I'm grabbing my salt and my pasta. You know, before you cook the pasta, salting the water is your one chance to really season that pasta while it's cooking. Otherwise, the seasoning will just always sit on top, which isn't as good. So we're gonna put it right in here to my boiling water. We're gonna watch this. I have a tendency to forget and then it boils over and I don't want that. Over here, I have some butter and some oil. I'm gonna slowly start those melting together, and so we have a really good flavor and medium to put our vegetables in. The vegetables here really are the components that we use for so many things because they are that base flavor. So we have onion, which I'm gonna give it a dice. I do still like to crosshatch my onion. I know not everyone thinks that's really needed since it has natural layers in it. My thing is, I think it makes a little bit more of an even dice when you do that, so I'm always gonna do that. Now, traditionally when we would make a chicken pot pie, we would either make a pie crust and we would fill that, or we would make a biscuit or something to go on top. Both those are still good, but we're gonna bypass all of that and really just condense it to have pretty much the same components. Of course, the vegetables can always be a little bit different, but that's what I love about this. It's kind of that same concept. Now, for the carrots, I have scrubbed carrots. I am someone that if I can scrub them and they're nice and they're organic and they're delicious, I don't peel them. I find that to be quite wasteful, honestly. Now, for my carrots, I like them to always have a little bit of size and texture to them. I don't want them to get mushy. One way to counteract that, don't make them too small. So on the bigger end, you know how a carrot is kind of tapered? On the bigger end, I will maybe cut it in quarters, but then on that smaller end, just in half, because that way it's going to have still some nice size. You can see here. So some of them are in quarters, but then some are in half. You know, that's just gonna have a nice size that it doesn't get mushy while it's cooking. With these beginnings chopped up, I'm just gonna take them right over to that heated and now melted, hopefully, or it's still melting, butter and oil. So I wanted the butter flavor and I wanted that to really make my roux, and I wanted a little bit of olive oil too. I think those two components work really well together here. So you can see I'm just scooping all these up and then I'm able just to go in, put them right in. Now, when I am sauteing, when I'm cooking anything, I season along the way. I think that's actually super important to do. So while this is gonna slowly saute in this beautiful flavor of butter and oil, I'm gonna also just make sure I season it a bit, which we'll add some other seasonings too, but layer the seasonings as you go. It's gonna be fully seasoned in the end then. You know, good wood boards, if you keep them oiled, they're safe to use for everything. I still like to put my raw meat usually on something different. So I'm using a different cutting board here. And I am going to dice this chicken up into kind of just more small bite-sized pieces. It can be really whatever size you want, but here's the thing. I want it just to be incorporated. This is a casserole at its best, but it still has, you know, kind of that great texture going on. So what I want to do is just make sure, obviously this can cook in a somewhat even, you know, time as everything else, but also just that it has nice pieces. So as we're serving this, you can actually just go through and not feel like they're either too big or you can't find them. So I'm just gonna dice it up. With all of it chopped up, we can just now take it over. Now I checked on this beautiful saute. They're just beginning to soften the onions. That's what I want. The carrots are still nice, crisp, tender. So we're gonna add in the chicken, and this is when we want it to fully cook. So we're gonna actually just move this around. Now with this, I'm gonna add in a few more seasonings, some Italian seasoning. So think of that as kind of that beautiful It's a beautiful bouquet of herbs. There's some oregano, some thyme, a little bit of rosemary, some basil. It just works really well with this. Black pepper, of course, a little bit more salt just to make sure it gets right on that chicken. And then we are going to just stir this and let it fully cook through. The pasta's al dente, and that to me is key on this because it's gonna finish cooking with the sauce in the oven. You don't wanna overcook it. So that means when you bite it, there's just a little bit of toothy or maybe just a small amount of chewiness in the middle. That's the essential part here, is to know al dente does make a difference. I'm just gonna drain that, let it sit for a little bit as we finish everything up. So the chicken is not fully cooked, and yes, I do, just to tell you, just for cleanliness, after I first pin the raw chicken and stir it, I wash the spoon in between. I think it's just a good food safety measure just to make sure. So that's all now cooked, and I'm gonna add in some flour. We're really just making a roux. So I'm gonna sprinkle the flour over everything. This is why we have the butter, we have the oil, but you wanna cook the flour a little bit. It gets the raw flavor out, and it really does help it develop better. So instantly as you stir it, you can see it starts to coat, and it really makes it, kind of just start what looks like disappearing, but instead what it's doing is working. It's coating everything. So I'm gonna stir it for just maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I just really wanna make sure I cook that flour slightly before we start adding our liquid. There we go, it's coating. When it coats the bottom of the pan, look at that beautiful. Look at that, that's cooked flour. That's gonna make a good roux. So we have now, it's just beginning to want to brown. So I'm gonna slowly start adding in some stock. Now you could whisk this in, with the chicken and everything. That's not the easiest, but I do have a small whisk that I sometimes use. What I'm gonna start doing is just kind of scraping up the bottom bits, those browned bits. But what this is also gonna do is start working with that flour to become thick. It's the beautiful thing about a roux, right? So I'm gonna slowly just let it go in. I kind of stir it every so often just to make sure it's scraping up those beautiful brown bits on the bottom, but also instantly you can see it's almost creating what feels like a gravy. I've added all the stock in. At first it feels thin, but it's gonna come up to a simmer. Now while it's doing that, and I can put the heat up a little bit, I have some cream too. So we're doing lots of different components here of flavor, of creaminess, but remember we have all these noodles we're gonna put in. So I wanna let this come up to heat. It's gonna kind of thicken. As it's doing that, I have a couple other great components here. So I have some cream cheese and some cheddar. Now I always like to buy a block of cheese. I think it is better flavored. I don't like the weird coating on pre-shredded cheese. It is a time saver, but really, look at that, how quick that was. And then some cream cheese. Now, what this is gonna do is, when you were growing up, and maybe your mom, dad, someone used canned soups all the time, those cream of whatever soups. Cream cheese is a way to do that without having those canned soups and all those other ingredients. So I kind of like those two components. So what I'm gonna do is scoop this up, take this cream cheese over. While this is just becoming to come to a simmer, I'm gonna put in that cream cheese, I'm gonna put in that cheddar cheese, and stir everything until it is just melty, and then we can add in the pasta. At this point, really honestly, this is looking like a soup, which honestly I'm thinking, why not just also, you could make a soup out of this too. So that's for another time, but you totally could do that. That cream cheese is just about melted, so we can finish up here. Frozen peas, they've been thawing. They're obviously gonna finish thawing right now in that hot liquid. I love frozen peas. Keeping them on hand is so nice. See how you get that green instantly, which is just so good without any work, right? I'm gonna add in all my pasta. And remember, it didn't quite finish cooking. So this is now its chance when we go and finish this all in the oven, which you're probably wondering, why are you finishing this in the oven? And yeah, I'm using my hands. They're asbestos hands and they can handle heat. I'm finishing in the oven because I want it to get brown and crispy, which we're gonna do with a nice little crumb topping here, but I'm just gonna stir this all together, make sure it's melted, and we can finish up. I'm bringing this over now. So it's finished, we're done on the stove. Now we can finish this up. Now you could pour this into a 9x13 at this point. You could even wait then and kind of bake it later, let it just sit there for a while, or put it in the fridge even. But I'm just gonna do it right in here because why wreck more dishes? That way this was only 2 things, cooking the pasta and then all right in here. Now you can see over here, I did melt a little bit of butter. I just, I used to always melt it in the microwave, and then a friend gave me this little, isn't this adorable, this little copper, and it works perfect for melting butter, and you feel a little bit more special. I have crumbs here. Now, these are a butter cracker crumb. Why? Because that just takes this flavor up a notch and makes it even better. So I'm gonna add a little bit more butter to them because butter really does make everything better. That's not a lie, that's just the truth. And what I'm gonna do is just mix that together. So you have the melted butter, and what it's gonna help do is kind of brown these and create this toasty, crispy crumb on top. What we're gonna do is take these crumbs, which are delicious. I mean, look at, yes, this is homey, this is comforting, this is like true comfort food. I feel like this is true Midwest comfort food. Welcome to my Iowa kitchen. But also on top of it, this just has great texture. So we have kind of that creamy, delicious layeredness underneath of the chicken and the pasta, but then you're gonna have this crispy, buttery cracker topping. So now I'm gonna pop this in the oven. I just really want it to bubble throughout, crisp up the top, and we can eat. I took this out of the oven a little bit ago. It was bubbling all around the edges, which you can see, that's what you want. And look how the top got nice and crispy and toasted. That's the beautiful part. So it's a big casserole. Now you can obviously have a big group of people, a big family. Leftovers are delicious though. Take this with you to work, share it. So what I'm gonna do is just go in and look at this. Look at the creaminess that's coming out of there. Now, the beautiful part of this, what happens in the oven is kind of magical. That noodle finishes cooking, but look inside of there, how good that looks. It's just absolutely delicious. Full of heartiness. Personally, I want some with chicken and with a little bit of that topping. I like the crispiness. God, it's so hot. But it's so good. What I love is it's burning all the way down my throat. I love though all the flavor you're getting out of this. It's not just heavy cheese, it's not just heavy cream. You're getting the carrot, you're getting that Italian seasoning we put in, but most of all, you're getting perfectly cooked noodles, not mushy carrot. I love cooked carrots. And you're getting a great meal. The peas, the chicken, everything. It's a meal in one. And honestly, yes, it takes a couple steps, but it really isn't that hard, and that's what I love about it. So what do I hope you do with this recipe? I hope you now feel just as confident to make this. If I can make it in my kitchen in Iowa, you can make this no matter where you are. You can enjoy it with friends, with family. Do not feel like comfort food is something you can't have when you're entertaining with other people. Food brings us together, it gets us around the table, and it helps us connect. That's the point. So check my website, wyseguide.com, for this full recipe, which is also in the description of the video, as it always is. But there's a lot of other recipes on my website too you might want to try. Enjoy.